The best version of yourself is built through the seasons where you're constantly showing up. Even though you may not be giving your 100%, but you're still not seeing the results at the moment. But that is the whole point, because nothing happens overnight. And by the way, if you do not know me, my name is Modia. That is what I go by, and I have completely transformed my life into an identity of a person who is at least consistent, who is at least willing to put the work in. But it wasn't always like this. So in this video, I'll be talking about like the reason why you're not seeing the results that you're working hard to get right now. And I was in that period for the majority of my life, right? Actually, not for the majority of my life, for the past year, right? I was basically having these habits that I was doing every single day. But at the moment, 3 months went by, I didn't see a significant difference. But the 6 to 12 month period, that is when I saw the massive growth. So if you're consistent right now in like some daily habits, you may be thinking nothing is working out. But I promise you, success is determined by what you do on your day-to-day basis. It's not like a massive thing that happens overnight. It takes time, it takes process. So you have to stick to your daily habits. Ask yourself, what is the best version of myself? Maybe it has your dream physique, right? Maybe it has a six-pack. So now what you gotta do is to basically do the things that version of you in the future that has the dream things you want, do the things that he will be doing, right? And before I made my transformation, I was a super skinny kid, right? Very insecure. Girls walked all over me. Nobody respected me, right? And when I was putting in the work 2 months straight, I didn't see any results at all. 2 months of putting in the work, right? Consistently. And I almost wanted to quit because I was like, wait, maybe it's my genetics. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But the 3rd to 6 month period, that is when my physique completely started changing, right? And I'm glad that like I was able to stick to that process until like the process, took place for me to actually see the results that I was putting in the work for. So it doesn't matter if you've been showing up for like 6 months and you haven't seen results. That is still something. But now you have to ask yourself like, am I doing the right things? Am I putting in the right inputs that the best version of myself will be putting in? The best version of yourself that has the goals that you want. Are you actually doing the things that he will be doing to get to where he's at right now? Because he already exists. The version of you with the abs, the version of you with the muscles, the version of you with that car, with that girl, he already exists. But there are things that he did that you're not doing right now, that you haven't done. But after you've done all of that, you will get to that version of yourself. And that version of yourself is built on the day-to-day basis, on the day-to-day habits that you do. It's not something that you do like overnight, something that you do for 1 month. No, you have to embody his identity. And I have failed to realize it for the majority of my life. Even when it came to building my physique, I thought like, after like maybe I managed to maybe make a transformation, I can just stop. No. This version of myself right now was someone I envisioned like, a year ago, right? But I had to do the things that he will be doing. I have to embody his lifestyle in a way. And that is exactly what got me to where I'm at right now. And I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, right? I'm nowhere close to success. That is a mindset I have, even though I've only made a physical transformation, but there is still other goals to be accomplished. You have to embody this identity of the best version of yourself. And that is what I'm doing every single day. That is what I'm at least trying to do. So stop solely focusing on the big results, setting goals blindly. That is being delusional right there. If you're not executing every single day like the best version of yourself will, you're being delusional, brother. Because that best version of yourself is built through the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day little things. And the little things that we often ignore, we think do not matter, is actually what matters. Every single day I wake up, right? At 5 a.m. I do not miss my alarm. I post it on my Instagram stories every single day, in real time as well. right? I go outside, do my 50 push-ups, come back inside, take my cold shower. It is mad uncomfortable taking my cold shower at around 5:30 a.m. Nobody wants to do that. But I know the best version of myself who has an unbreakable mindset, who has an unbreakable discipline, an unbreakable process. That is why he had to go through to be where he's at. And I remember before starting this journey, I was like, is this something I can actually sustain? It came days where I would skip like my cold shower, my 50 push-ups, where I would totally skip it. But I knew the version of myself with an unbreakable mindset that people will be looking up to, getting wisdom from, that will become his lifestyle. He will start craving the cold showers. And that is exactly what I've embodied right now. I cannot go a day without taking a cold shower. Even if I'm taking my warm shower, guess what? I am going head first into that freezing cold water before turning the water warm. Right? It's because it has become a lifestyle now. It's what I do. But it wasn't always like that. And you have to realize that you have the ability to become whoever you want to be in this world. But you cannot get into your own head. You cannot avoid the habits the best version of yourself will be doing every single day. You cannot skip, brother. And even if you do skip, get back on track as soon as you can. Because none of us can be perfect. Sometimes I do skip my cold shower for some reason. But the question is, how quickly can you get back on track? How quickly can you get back to showing up and doing that workout? How quickly can you stick to your habits again? Because nobody can be perfect. So stop focusing on the big goal. Start focusing on the daily inputs. Sit down. Write down the best version of yourself. What characteristics does he have? How does he look? How does he talk? What kind of physique does he have? What kind of mindset? How does he think? And basically break all of these things down into a small portion where you can actually do every single day. If he has an unbreakable physique, a great physique, guess what he does? He eats healthy, probably 100%. He wakes up early, maybe. But he does work out. That is, of course. So those are the things that you're going to be doing on your day-to-day basis. I knew the version of myself right now was someone who has to be consistent. So what I had to do was do my 50 push-ups every single day without missing a single day, because that is the definition of consistency. And anybody can do push-ups no matter how busy you are, no matter how busy your life is. You can literally rip out 50 push-ups within 2 minutes right now. And we have 24 hours in a day. You sleep 8 hours, you got 16 hours. Even if you got work, you still got like 2 minutes to basically get down and rip out those push-ups. So there's literally no excuse. And it doesn't matter like what people think, what your close friends think, what your family think. I was judged for my push-ups as well. People thought I was crazy. People thought that was corny. I remember back in high school, like, after prayer, like I would like always like, basically do some push-ups in the cafeteria. And I remember my friends making fun of me, like, oh, he's showing off, he's doing that, he's doing this, right? And that was only 10 push-ups, by the way. That time I wasn't as strong as I am right now. That was before I made this transformation. But guess what? Imagine if I have listened to them. If I have listened to them, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. The same thing with my content right now, right? People are walking around. Maybe some of them even think I'm weird, just sitting here shirtless like this, filming, talking to a camera like I'm talking to a real person. I mean, I technically am, right? But you cannot let people get into your head. Your family may be judging you for meal prepping, those meals to basically build your physique. But guess what? That is what is required. You do not want to be like them anyways. I'm not saying like, you should basically hate them. Of course, we love our families. But let's be honest. We do not want to be like the people around us. If you're watching this video to this point right now, I know you're not meant to be average. So that means we already know like the world is full of averages, right? So our goal is to break through this average and get to the highest versions of ourselves that we can be. And that means ignoring every single person around us who's judging us, not letting them get into our heads, because we do not want to have your physique anyways. I do not want to have my uncle's physique. I do not want to have my dad's physique. Of course, I love him, right? But you have to do the things that you're supposed to do, regardless of what other people think. You have to stay consistent. You have to embody the identity the best version of yourself have. But that is all I have for this video. I'm going to keep this video short. And if you like this video, I would appreciate you if you could like, if you could comment, and if you could subscribe especially, that will mean a lot to me. But if not, I also kind of get it. But I hope this was able to help you. But I'll be posting these every single 2 weeks. Maybe not on this setting. Usually I post this on my car. And I will link my Instagram below. I post my 50 push-ups every single day in real time. I tag the time there, 5:12 a.m. Everybody sees that. People are appreciating it because it's holding them accountable. So definitely check out my Instagram. I also document my whole day, like the thoughts I'm having, how I'm getting over some hurdles that I did not feel like doing. Like for an example, if I have a workout, I didn't feel like doing it, but I did it. I will talk about how I basically went through my mental process to basically overcome that and get to the other end of that workout. But that is all I have for this video. Like, comment, and please subscribe. And see you guys on the next one. Peace.